Seeing my slides?
I am. Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're at 9:30 here. We're going to go ahead and get started. First and foremost, congratulations on qualifying for the 2024 State Girls Hockey Tournament. We're honored to host you here. We've got a great agenda this morning, a number of people to assist you. Thank you to Susie here for all the work that she's done, sending out all the information. Our tournament staff, our tournament manager, Jeff Whistler, Matt St. Martin, Matt Percival, and Jeff Whitney will all assist you throughout this tournament to just, again, offering the best possible experience we can. We also have Laura from our office along with Tim Layton. We have looks like a number of people here from 45 this morning, again, listening in. And if we could go to that agenda here, Susie, we will be recording this and sending it back out as well. I'm going to turn it over to our tournament manager, Jeff Whistler, to greet you, and then we'll get into the meat of the agenda here. Whis?
Thanks, Bobby. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to echo Bob's message to as a congratulations to everyone. It's a long season and it culminated into your qualifying for this year's tournament. I too want to publicly thank Susie. She was up late last night waiting for different things, and she's the glue that really holds everything together for this tournament. We do have a number of staff members here that are here to help you have a positive experience, and that really is our goal as a tournament staff. We want you and your student athletes, your families, your community to have a positive experience. So as we go through these guidelines, and we call them guidelines, and it's just these guidelines are there to really help us work together to make sure everybody knows what to do, what to expect, and to make sure that your experience is as positive as possible. If at any time you have questions, feel free. You have my contact information. Text messages, texting me is the best way to get a hold of me. But as we close up the meeting, I'll refer to that as well. So once again, congratulations, and I'll turn it back to Bob.
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Wes. Just briefly here on this agenda, again, we'll send these slides out with you. You'll hear from Laura and Tim here briefly on the website along with media. We're going to jump into the participation guides. Again, if you do the work on the front end, the experience will be that much more enjoyable between you and your administration. We'll set the tone on expectations again, and it'll be really similar to our boys tournament as well. So we'll emphasize some things probably less here on the girls side than maybe we would on the boys side, but very similar meetings here today. We'll address team video if you wanted to do so, team only in the designated VOM areas for those of you that have been here before. If you haven't been here before, like Dodge County, congratulations. Jeremy expressed the amount of work it is on the front end, and again, get it done and enjoy the experience. And then follow up, we'll at the end, we'll get into the seating. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over, I believe. Let's get to the checklist first here, I think, Susie. Your experience will be that much better if you appease Susie and everything that she needs on the front end here. So just know that on Monday by noon, you need that team admittance form. Again, follow who is there, making sure that your coaches are certified. You're following the number of student athletes, including student managers, heavy on the student with managers. They are not adults. That's located on your dashboard. Again, details much of today are found in that participation guide. Herb Brooks Award. It's a great opportunity here to highlight that individual. Get that in on the electronic form. We have a number, I think 10 people from the Coaches Association watching our tournaments to select that Herb Brooks Award. And then transfer care form. Again, if your trainer is there on that dashboard, and turn it into the tournament manager. That'd be Wes or any of our staff prior to the tournament. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Laura, and she's going to walk us through the website, and then we'll get to Tim on media. Laura?
Thanks, Bob. And again, congratulations, everyone, on qualifying for the Girls State Hockey Tournament. I'm going to walk through a few things to help you find some resources that will both assist you as well as those fans or spectators from your community that are attending. On the public side of the website, up under sports and activities, and then going to girls hockey, or you see a direct URL down at the bottom if you want to use that in any communications that you're putting out. On this girls hockey landing page is where everything for the public is intended to be for the state hockey tournament. Again, there are resources here that may assist you as a coach or as an AD, but these are also the ones that you want to share out with your community as they prepare for their state tournament trip. Here's where you'll find a schedule. You'll find a spectator guide, which is a really nice PDF that you can just forward on to people with dates, times, expectations, etc. Apparel links are here. Streaming links are here. Here's the spot to get to the brackets, and then also where the programs will be located. So really, this is your one-page spot to send all of your spectators to, and then again, also to know about as yourself. A few details on some of the things that you'll find on that page. Want to jump ahead a slide, Susie? This is again where the programs are found. Your program information should already be submitted to Ellen Rakuski. Those programs get published hopefully by end of day Monday online. A reminder that our programs are online only, and people should view, print, bookmark, download, whatever they want on those for their day. We see a lot of different uses of those. Some people will print a couple pages of them. Some people have them saved on their mobile device while they're at the tournament. But again, make sure that people know where to locate that, and that's on that girls hockey page. Also on that girls hockey page, you'll find a link to the general state tournament apparel. You see the apparel pictures out on the right-hand side there. Apparel will be sold on site at the tournament in the concourse, and there is also online ordering availability. We do always encourage you to encourage your folks to buy early at the tournaments. Signature Concepts does a great job for us, but they also print as much as they think they're going to need based on past pieces and then move to an online sale. There's an additional hockey sweatshirt that's available, and I'm going to turn it back to Bob to fill in some details around this.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Laura. This is the exclusive tournament sweatshirt. Nobody else has access to this. This is the one typically your student athletes will want. They are getting a Bauer logoed hat this year as well. They are not getting a tourney hat as shown in this slide as well. So that is something also that they can purchase. Anything that they purchase, get those orders in ASAP. Those will be delivered to the Bauer Lounge. We'll talk about that a little bit later in presentation. Those will be on site. They will get those when you arrive with your team. Prior to your first game, you'll have those Bauer exclusive sweatshirt. It is actually a Bauer sweatshirt this year, not Under Armour like it was a year ago. So this is an exclusive sweatshirt for your athletes and the families to be able to order, and get those orders in ASAP, please. Laura?
And Bob, am I correct that an email's gone out from Susie regarding those sweatshirts?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. A
Yep,
few more things that you'll find. Oh, go ahead, Susie.
I was just gonna say that it's linked in the email that was sent last night, and the deadline to place that order is tomorrow.
Thanks, Susie. A few more things that you'll find on that girls hockey page. One is the link to streaming. So for girls hockey, streaming, it lives on two platforms, NSPN.TV.
Looks like
That
Laura.
stream is
Go ahead, keep Lauren going. You locked up.
For quarterfinal girls hockey, that is a complimentary stream. For third place and consolation, there is a subscription required for that. All semifinals and championships are broadcast on 45 TV, both on their on-air channel as well as streaming through 45 TV. So again, news for your folks who may not be able to attend the games on site. Additionally, Susie, if you can jump ahead a slide. Ticketing, just a reminder that all tickets should be purchased online. You see the prices there for ticketing. Tickets are run through the Excel Center and through their app, which is that Wild app to have that in. Also note that a message went out from Christina at the X to schools this morning that has a ticketing toolkit for them, And again, that may be helpful to pull resources for you to use with your communities. And a final note, everything we've talked about so far is available out on the public side of the website underneath the girls hockey under sports and activities. Transitioning to this slide, this is dashboard information on tournament information that is put out specifically for coaches and ADs of participating schools. The information we're showing here is not available to the public, as this is information just for you. So coaches and ADs, make sure that you have found this spot. And you see on the graphic number 1 on your dashboard, you have a spot that's called My Sports and Activities Information, or ADs, yours is called My Schools Sports and Activities. Clicking on that button that says My Sports and Activities will open up number 2, the photo there, a number of bands that represent the sports that you are associated with. This one, for example, says girls hockey and then gives a section number. The little plus number on the side of that opens up screen number 3. And again, this is a spot where all season resources are being added. The left-hand side are things that have been there for the whole year to help you prepare for the season. The middle section is information that came from your section tournament management. And the right-hand side with the big black arrow where it says state tournament resources, that is the area that Susie has been filling with resources for you. And all of the resources that get mentioned this morning about they're on your dashboard, that is where they are. So starting at number 1, that My Sports and Activities, find the right sport, and then open that girls hockey band, and you'll find all of those resources there. With that, I'm going to turn it to, I believe we're on to Tim, talking about media.
Very good. Thank you, Laura, and welcome everybody. Good morning to you. What an exciting time of the year. If you're on this call, that means you've had a terrific season, and that's going to continue this week at the Xcel Energy Center. The student media program is available to you and your students for the girls hockey state tournament. What that means is you have the opportunity for the experiential learning pieces that come with that student media program. What that means is all applications for the student media program flow through the ADs. So the activities administrators that are on this call, you have to approve each of those. You have that opportunity through the High School League's website. The student media program involves 3 individuals. That is 2 students and 1 faculty advisor. The faculty advisor has to be somebody that is on the district staff and someone that has an email address within your school district. The faculty advisor needs to be on site to manage those 2 individuals. The deadline for submission of your credential request will be Tuesday at 7 o'clock. The media credentials pickup will be on the mezzanine level off of the Xcel Energy Skyway. They will be there and they will be given a media pass for admittance and access, and they are to report to the press box for further guidance from the media staff. That's all I have for you today. Good luck to everybody, and we look forward to seeing you later this week. Bob, back to you.
Very good. Thank you, Tim, for all your work. I know Tim's been down at the state dance tournament as well. So we're going to jump into really that role of your admin team, and then also, again, the participation guide. You'll hear some of these items a number of times due to the importance. Read recent board action at our last board meeting. Increased supervision and tickets for your admin team that's intended for supervision and your admin team at the contest for girls hockey is now 8 tickets that the AD will be receiving. I believe, Susie, correct me if I'm wrong. Again, that is for supervision for the tournament. When you arrive and you're arriving underneath with your team bus, here's who needs to be with you, and here's who is allowed into the contest. You have your 20 student athletes and your 3 coaches on the bench. Again, that should have been the same in our sections, but you have 3 coaches on the bench, along with 2 student managers are allowed as well. New this year, we're allowing up to 3 additional coaches, but they must have tickets. If they arrive with the team, they can be scanned in down below on the ramp, and they're able to be in. If you'll note this later again, if any of them, if you wanted to, hit record for team video in the VOM area that will be dedicated to team video only, that would need to be one of those student managers or one of those additional coaches. All of those coaches will need to be certified according to the MSHSL rules and policies and bylaws in order to be allowed in. We'll keep going here. Supervision with those, we talk about those 8 tickets that are provided. Make sure that supervision of teams, student body, and spectators, we want those administrators down in front with our spectators, making sure that they're following the behavior expectations. Again, let's make this tournament as enjoyable as possible, and let's show it off to the best of our ability. Again, what are you communicating with your student body when you see those behavior expectations? Get those out to your community, to your student athletes, or your students that will be there in attendance. Again, there's very detailed language of what can and cannot be allowed in terms of signage. Things like chants should be about your school, your team, not others. Again, how do you represent an education-based sport like girls hockey for our tournament? How do you represent your school and community? Let's do so appropriately, please. And thanks to the Minnesota Wild, this is year 2. The spectator experience is really different than previous years. They will coordinate with the band. So if you have a band there and a band director, they're going to wear a headset. They're going to coordinate when they're set to play, and when they're not playing at stoppages, there will be music that will be played, provided again by the Minnesota Wild. We greatly appreciate them doing so and do believe it enhances the experience. Wiss, anything I missed there before we keep moving? Okay, we're going to keep moving there. Wiss is muted too, Susie, in case you would like to speak later. Here are the behavior expectations. Again, push this out, send it out. These will be the expectations at all of our tournaments. Note for our ADs that it's also located on the dashboard.
Sorry, Bob, I didn't realize it was muted. Yeah, that should cover everything. Again, with the additional staff members, that should be able to help with this proper supervision.
Good, thank you. Let's keep moving here then. We're getting closer to seating. Again, remember where you're at. You're in the city of St. Paul. If you're staying in one of our hotels, you have those designated spaces. Travel as a team, please, to and from the arenas. Stay together. And again, let's ensure the health and safety of our student athletes. When you drop off underneath, you do have the ability, let's say if you're staying at the Hampton or the new Marriott Courtyard and you're walking over, you're able to do so as well. You would come in gate 4. Otherwise, everyone is coming underneath in their bus, and you will be greeted by a team host and a member of our staff. There will be a Bauer, let's call it a walk-in. You've received that information, making it much like the Professional Women's Hockey League as well. And they're going to do a nice job highlighting our teams as they enter. When you do enter, Bauer's requesting that you stop, get your sweatshirts in the lounge. They would like to greet you. It will be very short and sweet, and there's a lot of information that they have for you and items like tape and such that is available, as well as a sharpener for your skates. But they would like to greet you on the way in, and then we'll get you to your locker rooms. Again, only members on your team admittance list should be on your bus. If you have someone else other than the admittance list, you can drop them off up top, but they should not be coming down below with your bus. You should not be bringing in food from the outside underneath with you. That is prohibited according to the Xcel Energy Center. And again, when you're down there, when you're in your locker rooms, and much of what where we're at, we can hear it as well as others that are in that lower bowl. Let's have appropriate music. Let's have appropriate language that is occurring in those locker room areas as you prepare or in between periods or following the game. If you're that last game of the evening, and again, this is something we do in other tournaments like football as well, you need an admin rep that comes down below. Identify it with your team host. You need to be down below getting your team ready to leave the locker room. You need to be done 30 minutes following the interview, not necessarily the game, but once interviews are done in the media room, that needs to be an admin rep, could be the AAD, but doesn't have to be. that is going to make sure that that team is out by 30 minutes following interviews. And again, identify who those spectator admin reps are versus maybe who the admin rep that will come down below or with the team if they are coming with the team. Wiss, anything I missed there?
One of the things that we didn't cover is, unfortunately, we cannot keep any equipment overnight. We don't have a storage area, so your athletes will have to carry their bags to and from their rink. So we don't have facility to store your equipment overnight.
Good point there, Wiss. Let's keep moving here, Susie. All right. Again, I'm going to mention who cannot be in that admittance form and down below. Again, I'll mention that 3 coaches on the bench, 2 student managers, up to 3 additional coaches that need that ticket. They need to have purchased that ticket and they will be scanned when they get in. Already talked about the team video as well, how that will occur. If you are in a game later than the first game, we do not want you there more than an hour and a half before your contest. That being said, as the games get going here, 2 hours before your session in that Bauer lounge area, you could access that as well. If you are bringing your own sharpener, it would need to be a Sparks-like self-contained. Also, Bauer does have a sharpener for you as well. You do not need to bring one, but there's a designated area if you would like to bring one. But it needs to be a Sparks-like self-contained sharpener if you're going to do so. Again, we are doing handshakes following the game. That's, again, we think back to COVID and we weren't able to do that. There will be handshakes. Prepare for that as well. Stats will be electronic on the girls hockey webpage. There's no copies of that. They are electronic. Also, thank you to the Coaches Association, both on the girls and the boys side, trying to make the experience as enjoyable as possible with game times. You'll notice on Saturday, those times are 11 and 1 as opposed to starting earlier. In order to make that happen with our TV as well to stay on time, consolation and third place final games will be a 1 8-minute overtime. Following that, if the score remains tied, it would remain a tie. Both would receive that same trophy. All tournament teams will be selected, as well as the Herb Brooks Award. I'll ask Wiss maybe to speak to that a little bit as well. And then champions, if you would have a jersey that you can have with you to give to the Xcel Energy Center, the Minnesota Wild highlights those at gate 1 now. Previous state champions, a jersey that could stay with you for the Minnesota Wild. And then injured athletes, we've had some questions on this as well. I'll get into that policy that's included here if there's an athlete that's sick or injured during the tournament. Our next slide shows an example of that self-contained sharpener. This is what we're talking about that would be allowed in the arena. The Wissota style sharpeners are not allowed in the Xcel Energy Center. The policy on injured athletes, that is here as well. Basically, if you have a rostered athlete that is injured or is sick, you need a doctor's note. Taking them out of that contest, you could substitute another player in. If that original athlete becomes well enough to play, you need a doctor's note again, clearing them to participate, and only that athlete that replaced them would be allowed to be replaced. Note that policy, and it's located here in the slide deck that will be back to you. All right. NFHS rules emphasis. Bill Cronschnabel's on here as our state coordinator as well. You'll get to meet him. He'll cover replay in that first game. But let's make sure that head coaches, you're making sure that all of your student athletes are properly equipped prior to the contest. That is on you. Things like ear guards, J-clips, cat-eye masks, all of those things need to comply with NFHS rules. For our student athletes, make sure that they're celebrating. That's a big part of this game, but you're celebrating with your team in front of your fans. Note the rule on taunting. That will be strictly enforced here in our tournament. Also, the use of obscene language. Again, this is for both of our tournaments in hockey. Unacceptable by our coaches and our student athletes. Again, let's make sure we're identifying as such. The other item I will mention on this page, we don't have it noted. If you would work with a team host or Jeff Whistler, our tournament manager, if you have a light jersey that is your home jersey other than white, let's make sure that we know that, to make sure that it clearly contrasts with your opponent. So if you're wearing a gold or a gray of sorts as your home jersey, let's make sure that it contrasts with your opponents. All right, let's keep moving here. Then I'm going to refer back to WISP before we get to seeding. WISP maybe mentioned Herb Brooks Award and all tournament teams as well before we get to the seeding. Ineligible participants, if they are ineligible for the tournament, they cannot be a manager. They cannot be on your bench. If an athlete becomes ineligible during the tournament for an ejection of sorts, they cannot participate in any way, shape, or form from the ice level. That would include awards. Please be aware of that. Let's try and prevent any ejections if possible. And that would be the last thing our officials want to do as well. And again, make sure that we're respecting those officials. How you're working with the officials and communicating that with them is very important. Wes, anything I missed before we get to seating?
Nope, the Herb Brooks Committee is a group of coaches from the Coaches Association. They'll be in contact with you. Make sure you complete that form and get that to Susie so they can get that ahead of time. That's it.
All right. Compliment to the girls' game here right now. One last slide before seating is on Saturday. You're going to notice again with that environment that we have for our championship games, you're going to note in either there's orange or let's call them tan colors. Student bodies will be in one of the corners. There will be a designated corner behind the net areas along with your bands for that championship game. Again, our crowds are such on those Saturdays. It's going to look very similar to on the boys tournament where those student bodies are located in one of those corners to behind the nets. Those areas will be designated for you on Saturday. Even though it's a general admission ticket, we're going to ask that you sit in those areas. Again, let's fill that arena to the best of our ability to highlight our contests and our student athletes. All right, if there's nothing further, we'll take questions here after seating. If there are any on the items that we've covered. At this point, though, we are going to move into the seating, and we are going to start with Class A. Thank you for those of you that got your information in on time and appreciate your work on the seating. So for our Class A tournament, our 5 seed, Proctor Hermantown, will play Warroad, our 4 seed, at 8 p.m. Again, 5 seed Proctor versus 4 seed Warroad, 8 p.m. All right, next to our 1 p.m. game, we will have Fergus Falls versus Dodge County. Dodge County is our 3 seed. Fergus Falls versus Dodge County at 1 p.m. 11 a.m. we have Wilmer versus 2 seed Orono. 2 seed Orono versus Wilmer. That will be our 11 a.m. game. And then we have 6 p.m. Laverne, 6 p.m. Laverne versus Academy of Holy Angels is the 1 seed. Again, Academy of Holy Angels versus Laverne at 6 p.m. Susie, do I have that correct?
Correct.
All right, we are correct there. Just to note, we do have a proposal both from the boys and girls. This will be the last year we're seeding 1 to 5 with a random draw for 6, 7, and 8. I believe the board will approve next year 1 to 8 for girls hockey and boys hockey. All right, we're moving into Class A here. Our Class A seeds, or Class AA seeds, starting with our 8 p.m. contest, 5 seed Northfield versus 4 seed Edina. Again, 5 seed Northfield versus 4 seed Edina at 8 p.m. Next, we have Rosemont versus 3 seed Andover. 3 seed Andover versus Rosemont at 1 p.m. At 11 a.m., we have Roseau versus 2 seed Kilmurray. 2 seed Kilmurray versus Roseau at 11 a.m. Next, we have Maple Grove. Maple Grove will face 1 seed Minnetonka, and that will be our 6 p.m. contest. All right, so you have the schedules. Those brackets will be updated and released. Again, congratulations on qualifying. For those of you that don't have questions, you're welcome to leave this. For those that do, you're welcome to stay on. Others might have questions that would assist those that are in the tournament. Again, our staff looks forward to hosting you. Thank you for all of your preparation. Congratulations on a great season. We have 1 week left, and we'll see you as soon as Wednesday. Thank you. Any questions at this time?
Bob, just a quick note, I will post this video as well as the slides on their dashboards if they're looking to access it later today.
Great. Thank you, Susie.
Mhm.
All right. Work with our team hosts if you have any questions, or our management team. Otherwise, we're going to let you go here and prepare for the coming week here. Thanks, everyone.